Hello everyone, my name is Harbir Singh Gill. I am a family physician that helps people with addiction and mental health, chronic pain. And so today I thought we could talk about what I call the self-therapy practice. So I'm a big proponent of the human having the capacity to heal themselves. And my feeling is that we can heal even the severest trauma through this inborn capacity of us to help ourselves. And so I liken it to a river. So our ability to handle traumatic experiences is kind of like a river that has a lot of curves to it. And so if the river is deep and it doesn't have any choke points, then even if it rains down upstream, like in the mountains, then it doesn't overflow. There's no flooding. The water might run fast for a while, but it doesn't cause any damage. And so the ability to have experiences, traumatic experiences, whether it's severe trauma like rape or incest or other things, or mild trauma like traffic jam, the capacity to allow that experience to flow through, allow the emotions to be experienced and flow through without leaving any residue or residual damage, is key to the part or to the idea of self-therapy. So if I were to draw a river, you have your mountains, and then out of the mountains comes a river. When there is rain, then most of the time the river doesn't overflow. However, if there's a particular sort of stricture, like maybe a dam or some debris, then what you get is these places where potential flooding can occur when the river flows. And once the damage is there from any flood, it doesn't just go away on its own. It stays. And so we have to actively deal with the damage, repair it, and if you've lost crops or if some roads were damaged, you got to repair them. But if that's all you do, the river's going to be fine for a while until it rains again in a heavy way. So a better approach is to repair the damage, not ignore the damage, but repair the damage and widen, deepen the river, or shore it up on the sides, reinforce it. And when that happens, on these kind of places that are flood prone, then it won't flood there again. And so the analogy here is that through life, whether it's a consequence of insecure attachment to parental or guardian figures, whether it's through really bad stuff happening, the idea is that if we have lived life to the age where we are now, and we are having trouble processing the flood of emotions, the process of self-healing, shoring up our river, healing the damage from the floods, collateral damage, such as relationships that have gone wrong and things like that, can happen now, must happen now. So how does that happen? If our traumatic upbringing or absence of love and nurturing growing up, or inadequate nurturing, a child needs 99.9% nurturance. Even 95%, 96% is not quite good enough and will result in symptoms. So how do we reinforce ourselves now? And that's the question that I answer to this idea of what we call self-therapy. Self-therapy is three basic things. So self-therapy is the process by which we deepen our relationship to ourselves, and a process by which we can gain perspective on past life events and current life events. It is a process through which we can create distance from disturbing things that have happened to us or those around us. And so it has three components, and each of them are very important. So I'll go through each one. So the first component is connect to self. The connection to self, if it was disrupted from previous experience, an example, for example, when I was teaching a yoga class, there was a student who would not close her eyes. And the reason for that was that bad things had happened to her when she had closed her eyes before. And so it was a scary place for her, and that's very fair. When bad things happen, it creates distance from our true identity. I hear people talk about themselves that they're broken. Oh, I'm broken, I'm a lost case. They say these kinds of things. And it's my belief that no one is broken. No one is born in this world broken. No one is born in this world having unable to sleep, unable to relax deeply, unable to find, connection with themselves. I think these are things that have been accumulated over time, damage from various floods that have happened, that have not been repaired. But the process of repairing is simply connecting to self, spending time with the self. I call it the relationship to self. So when you spend the time relating to yourself, the barriers that are keeping you from enjoying time spent with yourself slowly start to disappear. So the first part of self-therapy is connect to self. And we'll talk a bit more about that. The second part of self-therapy is connecting to others. So, a connection to self, such as through a meditation practice, prayer practice, or other such things, and a connection to self is only as good as what's happening when those eyes are closed. So a relationship to self is based on, or to anyone, it's based on three aspects. Time spent, the effort that you put into that, and the consistency with which you do it. And so when we spend time with ourselves, lots of people spend time alone. Someone told me just today how they had so much time alone and they had spent it watching Netflix. And that is not time spent with self, that is time spent distracting from self. And so it does not forge that deeper relationship, that deeper river that can handle the flood when it comes. So the act of connecting to self is held accountable by the act of connecting to others who are healthy. So what you'll find is that when you are unhealthy, you are the company that you keep. So if you hang out with healthy people as an unhealthy person, slowly you'll become healthy, if you're interested in that. And if you're not, slowly those healthy people will leave you. Water mixes with water and oil mixes with oil. The two don't mix unless one sort of changes to the other. And so there's a classic saying, misery likes company. And that's what it's talking about. So it turns out happiness likes company too. So if you hang out, connect to people who are healthy, who have what you want, if they are happy and you want to be happy, hang out with them. And naturally that energy will flow into you and you'll find out the ways. And so then the time that you spend connecting to yourself will become more productive because now you'll have mentors. Every teacher knows that the more you teach, the more you learn. So maybe you hang out with others who need guidance and you give them that. And it makes you more wise about the process of healing. And so connecting to others is a dynamic process. Our communities are always changing. When I was in medical school, my community was serving the needs of them. That community is different now. And in 10 years, it'll be different again. Because the nature of our communities and our needs changes. And so some people are afraid to make friends because they've been betrayed in the past. They become rigid. They become unwilling to take chances on new relationships. And that freezes the process of self-therapy because these are the peers that will hold you accountable to an effective connection to self, who will inspire you towards that. So the second part of self-therapy is connect to others. And the third part is crucially important. We call it commit to daily practice. So connect to self, connect to others, and commit to daily practice. Why daily? If we talk about healing the river as a crucial step towards preventing ongoing recurrent flooding of life? Well, we have to understand the relationship to self and use it at the same plane as our relationship to others. So every relationship needs three things. It needs time, it needs effort, and it needs consistency. Two of the three don't count. So if you put in an hour every day together watching television, which is time and consistent, but there's no effort there, then you can go 30 years in marriage and not know the other person, and that's very common. That's why marriages fall apart after so many years. The effort isn't there. If you put in thousands of hours once a year, that's a lot of time, it's a lot of effort, but it's not consistent, and so then that won't be enough to sustain a relationship. And if you put in a 1 minute of high quality, high effort time together every day, you never miss a beat, it's great, but it's just not enough, right? What relationship can be sustained with 1 minute of attention? The answer is no relationship. Time, consistency, and effort. So the committing to daily practice, so connecting to yourself every day, connecting to someone else every day, whether it's a simple text message, a phone conversation, attending a meeting, going for coffee, watching something on YouTube that's uplifting, connecting to someone else, connecting to yourself, whether that's, daily prayer, 5-10 minutes spent with the self, breathing, yoga, whatever. This allows you to slowly over time first heal these flood damages, the flood plains. And what you'll realize as you start doing this is that how you connect to self, how you connect to others, who you connect to, it sort of starts to change. You start spending more time with yourself because you start enjoying time with yourself. You start finding different ways, different prayers, different this or that, or meditations or techniques. They say when the student is ready, the teacher appears. The teachings and things are all around us. It's all about our readiness. And our readiness evolves in time. So how you connect to self will shift. How you connect to others will shift. Who you connect to will shift. What depth you will connect to. So it's a very interesting thing. Someone wants to, every one of us has a community. Who you hung out with in the last year of your life, no one in that community may be healthy, but believe it or not, you have healthy people in your life. Healthy people are such that they're always ready to connect when you're ready to choose health. When you're choosing your self-destructive, self-defeating habits, they won't want to connect with you. They know you're not ready, but the moment you are ready, they'll be right there with you. Everyone has that in their lives. And the nature of it is that people are always ready. So a great friend is one who will never leave you. They may not talk to you every day if you're not ready to sort of stop the victim mode and drop some of these self-defeating patterns, stop the drama. But the moment you want to choose something better, the moment you want to choose health, then you'll find that they're right there with you, willing to spend the hours that you need. The only way you'll find any of that, though, is if you commit to daily practice. The daily practice is a daily sharpening of the tool to make it go deeper and deeper and deeper. So the act of relating to the self is all about depth. You try all sorts of stuff, and then you narrow down. You meet all sorts of people, then you narrow down to what serves you. And you realize that over time, your river is no longer flooding. In fact, it enjoys the fast flow once in a while. It can handle things, and it happens slowly, right? Self-therapy is gentle. Sure, connecting to others, if one of those people is a therapist, that can help speed up the process, for sure. If there's particular blocks that just need some attention, what you'll find as you conduct yourself through self-therapy is those people you need will show up who can help you through them. And so my deeply held belief is that everyone is capable of self-therapy. I think we were born that way. And we can overcome our past traumas and grow from them. So that is my belief, that is my humble prayer, that everyone is able to use this process to deepen their connection and relationship to themselves, and realize that, if you don't have a positive connection to yourself, you can't have a positive connection to anyone else. And if you have a positive connection to yourself, everything and everyone you need will come back. The estranged family members, the children that you want a relationship to, the things that you lost, the money, the everything you need starts coming to you as you cultivate that positive relationship to self. And this is what I see time and time again. So I appreciate your attention. Thank you. And I will be releasing more of these videos as time goes on. So have a wonderful day.